Alright. Hey everyone, morning. This is another video dream log for myself, Brendan, aka Skull Babylon, and I haven't done one of these in a while, but obviously today I'm particularly doing it because it is my day to post for the Team Lucid Dream page, and that's at facebook.com/Team Lucid Dream. So I suggest you check that out if you have not yet. And it is 6:30 in the morning right now, and I just want to do this because it sort of fit in with my schedule, and because I happened to wake up and yeah, I had some like really interesting dreams last night. Just so I'm going to do my best to share them with you, so that to be able to encourage you to be able to record your own dreams. And basically, the way I'm doing this is through Google Hangouts right now. So anyone who has a Gmail account, who has a webcam, and has a microphone can do this themselves. Just go into Google and type in Google Hangouts on air, and then click a couple buttons, and when you do this, it will automatically record to your YouTube. So it just makes it easier for you to be able to work with the habit of doing that, which is what I encourage, obviously, because writing down our dreams is incredibly important, even when we think that they're not super important. So, I mean, some of the stuff that happened last night in my dreams, it was like crazy. It was like, it was like so ridiculous. But how esoteric is it? I mean, it's hard to say. Like, how much can I decipher out the symbols? It's hard to say. It's almost like you have to look at it as like a test, like a memory test. Like someone's sitting across the table from you, and they're like, "All right, I'm gonna flash like 50 cards in front of you, like really fast, and you have to like tell me as many of them as you can when we like finish flashing them. So you have like all these images in front of you, and it's like, okay, there was like a beach ball, a red car, like you're really trying to do your best. So it's like a memory. It's a dream memory, because our dream memory is a very real memory. But when we sort of transition into this waking state, there's like a nice delicate cord that connects us to our waking state, into our dream state. And when we wake up really fast, it's just like, and then, we go into our waking state and the dream state, just the memory just kind of goes to wherever it goes, to the ethereal realms, whatever you want to think of it. So we want to be able to like maintain a bit of that connection, just be very gentle with it, which is why when you're writing down your dreams, obviously just have a notebook right next to your bed, or have some sort of recording device right next to your bed, so that when you're recording your dreams, you are not invoking like any physical movement. You're just really still, and you're really focusing on connecting to that memory. So some things I just need to mention quite off the bat, and then I'm definitely happy to mention to you guys, is that the Journey to Lucidity movie is now available. Some of you have already seen this. For those of you who haven't, it's a movie that I made of a festival out in California, a transformational festival. It has a lot to do with the shift in consciousness, and that movie can be checked out through the Facebook page at facebook.com/Journey to Lucidity, and the Indiegogo camp page is where you can go to be able to get a viewing of it, or just pay attention to the page, because I'll be giving out free viewings there as well. And the movie also involves themes of dream exploration, and just like, lucidity. What does that mean? It's being able to like see clearly, being able to see the like sacred geometry, the oneness, the interconnectedness, the awakening process that many of us have gone through, are going through, are consistently going through, have yet to sort of go through. So it's definitely something that watching it is really cool, and I know you guys will enjoy it. So I mean, in the same way that people make books and sell books, I make movies that are like a visceral experience for you and will change your life. Is kind of the idea that art does that. It literally changes lives and creates realities. So if that's something you're interested in, check out facebook.com/Journey to Lucidity and check out the trailer there. And I definitely encourage you to check that out, especially if you're in the Team Lucid Dream community. I would love to be able to share that with more of you guys there. So check that out. And I guess I'll get right into some of my dream recall. And what I also want to be able to do with you guys is be able to share some excerpts from this book. You've probably seen me with it before, Dream Yoga, Consciousness, Astral Projection, and the Transformation of the Dream State by Samael Awar, who is the guy who helped set up a lot of the Gnosis studies. I've had this book for a while. I honestly haven't like read every single page in it. I sort of jump around in it. I only picked it up just recently again, but there's some nice questions and answers in here that I wanted to share with you in regards to astral projection. So, I mean, we talk about lucid dreaming. What's the difference between lucid dreaming and astral projection? Short answer of it: astral projection is consciously being able to like leave your body, your physical body, well in that dream state, well sort of like in that not fully deep state, not fully awake state, and in the process of doing so, you can consciously like travel to like all sorts of places that sort of are commonly only accessible even between lives or in death. So I mean, you can contact like all sorts of interesting beings, you can go to places, you can communicate with the gods if you want to think about it that way. We'll talk a little bit more about that, whereas like the lucid dream state is really just more internal, the internal realms. Not to say that none of it's not internal, which is kind of like a tricky thing when you think of when it comes to using words to explain it, but we'll talk about that. So in terms of my dreams last night, again, let me just do my best to sort of try and explain to you some stuff that happened, because I'm not trying to explain it to you perfectly. I'm just trying to be able to do it so that I can do it as a practice, because that's really all this ever is. This is all just practice, remembering stuff, writing it down. It's all just a bunch of practice. And then basically, hopefully I'll be able to piece some of it together as I go through the process of explaining it. So, first thing that happened in my dream, and oh yeah, add me on Facebook, facebook.com/skullbabylon. So first thing that happened in my dream that I remember, it actually involved a UFO. UFOs are something that sort of come up every now and then in my dreams. I've had UFO dreams for a while now before I actually saw my first UFO. Long story short, I saw a UFO. It was a triangle-shaped UFO, 3 lights on the corner. It may or may not have been government craft. It's hard to say with those things. It probably was government craft. There's a lot going on up in the skies. Not all of it's like extraterrestrial. But there's something that I don't even know if I saw the UFO, which is really weird, but I know it happened. And what happened is it left me like this like weapon, like this sword. One thing in particular is that during this dream I was at my old house. I'm living in my second house right now. My first house, I haven't lived in it for like 10 years, but this part of my dream took place in my old house. That's commonly a thing that you can use as a trigger to help you notice that you're dreaming, or just get more involved with your dream, is that if you notice that you're in a place that you obviously haven't been in a while, like a old school, or like I said, your old house, just take note of that, or just, if it happens to you once, just anticipate it happening again. So this weapon, it was like, there was like a blade to it. I got a really crummy picture. There was a blade to it, and there was like a handle, and it was kind of like a bow staff. So it was like a bow staff. It was really long, and then there was like kind of like a sword just on the end of it. So I mean, this is what I got drawn, but I mean, just to give you the idea, so you can just sort of see the shape of it. So again, like those are my shoddy notes that I did while like just sitting in bed, and some of it's like not even legible, which is again part of my practice. I just need to make sure that I put in the little bit of extra effort to make sure that my writing is legible even to myself, so that I can properly go over it again. So then, yeah, there's like this sword, and I remember I was like trying to like assemble it. It was like it was like stretching out and stuff like that. It was black, the blade was silver, and I was in my old house. And then I remember like my dad was like running around, he was doing stuff. Like it's weird though, because like I know a lot of more stuff happened, but it's hard for me to even put into words at this point, which is usually the case. Like there's stuff I got written here, like yeah, like something about a video game. Oh man, see, it's hard. I don't want to disappoint you guys by saying, oh, I can't remember, but there's actually like whole nother parts of this dream. Like I dreamt quite a bit last night. I woke up at like 4 a.m. I woke up at, yeah, oh, that's weird. I don't even remember not doing this, but like I woke up at like 4 a.m. and then I like meditated for a bit. I think I must have fallen asleep while meditating, I guess, or maybe I didn't. But that's always a thing that you can try doing, is that if you wake up in the middle of the night, try doing that. Try, opposed to just going back into the comfort of your blankets, like try like meditating for a bit as you sort of go back to sleep. That will just like help bring in a little bit more alertness that very likely will help travel over into that first dream state as you get back into it. So, practical tips is something that I think is always important. So then there's another part of my dream. No, let's see. Yeah. So again, there's like this. I knew there was a UFO in my dream, but I didn't see the UFO. Like I think my parents saw the UFO, but then it left like this like weapon, like this sword thing that I knew I was supposed to like use, and I feel like it should still be in my room over there, even though it was in my other room, but it's not. Um, and then there's another part of my dream which involved zombies. So again, like my dreams last night, it was just really like very almost stereotypical to my thoughts, my brains. Like UFOs and zombies. Like, what more could I ask for or something, right? But I was like in this zombie scenario, and it was like a video game, or maybe that's why I wrote down video game. Yeah, probably. So it was like this video game, and but it was all like first person. It was all real, but it was like I knew it was like a simulation, so I wasn't like scared or anything. And I've spent like the before it actually started, we were like, it was me and a friend, and he had played before, and we were inside like this mansion. It was like this like old like German mansion, and then I was like inside the kitchen, and I was like grabbing like all these like sort of like supplies, so like different knives. So I had like knives, and I was like putting it in my like sheath sort of thing in my pockets and stuff, and I had like this like backpack on. The backpack was like really flimsy and it was really like finicky. So anyways, and then like the level started. Oh, and by the way, it's raining out right now, so yeah. Um, so then the level started, and like as weird as this sounds, but again, this is like dream logic. The first zombie that I saw was like, oh, it's just so bad. I mean, like zombies are zombies, right? But it was like this older woman. Again, this sounds so bad. I know what I'm setting myself up for here, but it was this older woman, and she was walking towards me with a plate of like breakfast. And then she was the first zombie I saw in this hallway, and there was like two other zombies like right behind her. And then she like came at me, and I was like, ooh, like like breakfast. Like I could just like kill her and then just let the breakfast fall on the floor, but I like carefully like grabbed the plate and then like stabbed her in the side of the head. I know, bad, right? Don't stab old people in the side of the head, please. Pay attention, guys. Like, that's not what I'm trying to tell you. So I stabbed this old lady in the head because she was a zombie, and then I took the plate out of her hand, and then I like ate the eggs off of it. It was like really delicious eggs. It was like a video game. I needed substance. It was like like that's how video games work. You like eat stuff and you get food. It's like in Fallout, you get like hit by a nuclear blast and you drink toilet water and it makes you better. That's how it works, right? Dream logic. So then I like traveled through the rest of this mansion, and I honestly don't fully remember really engaging with as much zombie killing as I'm sure really took place. So it's hard for me to reiterate that. I mean, I could just like tell you a story and make it up about like how I just had like dual wielding kitchen knives and was like blah 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 blah. And it probably did happen. I don't know. For some reason, I just can't remember it, which is really weird. But the scenario was there to set it up for it. And then this whole other thing happened in this dream where it was weird. I was like watching a movie. I was like, oh yeah, okay, this was really cool. Oh, this is weird. Okay, I'm remembering this like as I'm talking about it. So there was like this other part of my dream, and there was like this building. And this building was kind of like a hotel, but it was also like a convenience store. And then I walked inside of it, and inside of it, oh, this is really weird. And inside, I was with my dad actually too, and it was like a hotel lobby or something. And then inside of it, there was like this like area that had like this like a virtual technology projection thing. So there was like a screen, and there was like more screens around it, but they were like holographic screens. And then these two guys, as me and my dad came in, we just sort of like sat down there, and I was like, just wait, something's gonna happen. And then these two guys like came into the building, and for some reason I recognized them. Like I knew they were actors. I knew they were like celebrities or something. And they started interacting with these holograms, and they were like projecting, and they put like gear on them. And then I knew what was happening. They were using the technology in front of them to like project their consciousness to be able to control what was happening on screen, and what was happening on screen was actually like dinosaur stuff. It was really interesting. So there was like them surrounded by like these screens, these holographic screens, and this guy was controlling these dinosaurs. And then the crazy part is that they weren't even just dinosaurs; they were like creatures that don't even exist from what I know of. And there was like this like skinny dinosaur. It's really weird. It was like a giant lizard, but it was skinny. And then there was like this other like flying lizard thing. It was huge. It was huge. It was like bigger than, it was like basically like a giant flying snake. Which, in retrospect, if you were to think about, you know, esoteric symbolism, like, giant flying snake, like, that sounds pretty symbolic, right? Like, you know, serpent knowledge, esoteric stuff, kundalini, whatever you want to think about. But it was weird. It was like half like half snake, half skeleton, half dragon, and this other guy was controlling the smaller lizard, who was like sitting on top of it and controlling it by having his arms wrapped around it. So again, dream logic, right? Like, it's really all over the place. And they were, I was watching them, but then eventually I was like inside of what they were doing, and I was like flying on the back of this lizard too, which is, well, like, yeah, just as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, like, did that really happen? But it did, in my dream. So yeah, so that was one thing that happened. And then there's like this whole other part, similar within like the same area, and it was weird. It was like I was watching like a music video or something, but it was basically it's weird. It was like a first person perspective of going through some sort of factory where they were like cleaning and cutting fruit. So there was a lot of like going on conveyor belts and getting hit by spray mist, if that makes sense, because they're cleaning the fruit. And then yeah, and then a whole bunch of stuff happened, and I'm pretty sure Will Sasso was there. Some of you know who Will Sasso is. He's a guy who's like on like Mad TV back in the day. He's still around and pretty funny. So yeah, Will Sasso was in my dream for some reason, whatever that means. Probably as symbolic as the flying snake when you get down to it, I'm sure. So yeah, and then there was like a whole other stuff that happened. I ran into some guys who were like also part of another movie, and they were like actors, and they were part of like a movie that they were doing about JTF2, which is Joint Task Force 2, which is like the Canadian Spec Ops kind of thing. Those of you who are Canadian, shout out to Canadians if you already know that. Yeah, and then there was like some weird stuff that happened. I think Madonna was in my dream. There was like this weird thing that I watched. It was like there was like a whole bunch of celebrities in it, and it was like a music video, and then it ended, and there was like songs that I recognized in it and stuff. It was really weird. I mean, it was really normal for a dream. I mean, you know, where do your standards lie? So yeah, that's really all I can pull out of that. And like I said, I mean, like, me sharing this video, me sharing my video dream log, is to encourage you to be able to share your own video dream log. Writing down your dreams is like the first step towards working towards lucidity, towards that journey to lucidity. As I've sort of stated before, like, I'm probably in a boat similar to a lot of other people, in the sense that I don't always lucid dream. Lucid dreaming really only occurs for me when I've really develop discipline to sort of stick to a set of regimented rules that sort of play out in a certain way, and that will eventually like get me to that lucidity. Often, very, very rarely will I randomly be lucid in a dream. It often does take a process of me sort of following techniques and patterns. So yeah, I mean, that's, you know, for those of you who are in that position, just do what I'm doing and keep writing down your dreams, even the ones that are really, really bizarre. The more bizarre they are, like, the more you should really just try to write them down. Don't discount anything, because those bizarre ones, like the ones that you don't think you're writing down, like, those are just like testing you to see if you're ready for the ones that will really be worth writing down. State the obvious. So let me just read a little bit of Q&A here from this book again. So, Dream Yoga Consciousness Astral. And if you want more information about this book, please contact me on Facebook, facebook.com/SkullBabylon. I'm not just going to put it in the video link info, because I want people to contact me, because I want to find out who's actually more serious about this stuff than people who will just passively not get involved with it as much. So are you passive or are you active? You tell me. So this is, again, relating to the chapter of astral projection. So there's questions and answers, and it says, question, master. This is referring to Samael Awar, the guy who is a master of astral projection in his own way. Question, master, is it necessary to have some previous learning in order to depart from the physical body, or do some exist who know how to do it from birth? I have heard many people say, I know how to travel in the astral world. Would you explain if this is the same? Samael Awar, my respected lady, your question is certainly very suitable. In the name of truth, I have to tell you that nobody had to teach me how to astral project myself, because I was born with the faculty. This is why I know the mysteries of life and death. Now you can explain to yourself where I get all the knowledge that I have written in my books. Nonetheless, my case is not an exemption. My wife, that's her name, also knows how to depart from her physical body at will. We astral travel together. We visit the temples of mysteries. We help many people from remote places. We investigate mysteries. We talk with the gods, the angels, and with the ineffable divas. Thus, we return into our physical bodies. We bring the same memories. This is similar to when two people leave their homes in order to have some recreation on Sunday, and then they return to talk about their distinct occurrences of their journey. There exists many people in distinct parts of the planet Earth who know how to depart from the physical body at will. Therefore, it is necessary that you also learn how to do it in order for you to know the great marvels of nature and cosmos, and in order to know what is beyond death. So I think the big thing that really intrigues me about astral projection specifically is that it, again, astral projection and lucid dreaming are a little bit different. Astral projection is like consciously like leaving your physical body, and when you leave your physical body, you're like traveling through other states of like the astral realm that are sort of consistent, sort of like actually there, like sort of like places that you can go visit, which is what he's talking about. Like if two people astral project at the same time, if two people are like sitting in a room, lying in a bed, and they leave their body, they can travel together, they can go places, and they can share this just same experience. They can see the same things. They can, it's not as subjective. They're actually going places, which is like a really amazing thing. Whereas like lucid dreaming, you know, like you're really just like more of internal. If you see someone in a dream, in a majority of the cases, that's not actually them. That's just your projection of them. Whereas if you see someone astral projecting, and they're conscious as well, because I mean, oftentimes to astral project, you already need to be lucid in the first place. So like astral projection comes after one sort of begins to become more aware with the lucid dream state. So I mean, I just think that's an amazing thing to encourage people to try and experience, the idea that there are like actually like these other places, like these other great marvels of nature which we haven't seen in documentaries for, you know, this Discovery Channel. You can really only experience them yourself if you pursue this path to be able to work with the abilities that are already innate to your faculty, which is why you already like can figure them out without needing to be taught them, which is what he's talking about. You know, we actually know how to do this stuff since birth. We just need to sort of be reminded of a few techniques along the way. Question, Master, you tell us that in order to project yourself into the astral plane, one has to take advantage of that given moment when one is between vigil and dream. Can we not make it in other moments? So vigil is like when you're like awake, and dream is when you're dreaming. So there's like that in-between state. That's like when you sort of like, there's often a sensation, and it gets to a part later on where it just explains one of the best techniques that you can do to sort of like practice astral projection is, as you're falling asleep, is to get up out of your bed and walk around. Because if you will yourself to do this, if you literally do this, a good chance is that you actually won't be getting up out of your bed. You'll be astral projecting out of your bed. It'll feel really weird, but just do it. Just do it, you know? Because oftentimes you think like, oh, no, it won't make a difference. Like, I'm not actually, you know, if I were to get up, I'd physically get up. But so, I mean, consciously work on projecting your astral body. Connect more with your astral body and get up and stand up out of bed. Turn around and you'll probably see yourself lying in the bed. Samael War, dear young lady, I want you to know that when one is very skillful in the matter of astral projection, one can escape from his physical body at will, even if your carnal body is seated or if it's on its feet. However, I repeat, the latter is only for very practical, skillful people. What is normal and natural is to lay down on the bed in order to astral project. I'm just going to keep going. Question, Master, can we invoke any special masters so that we can help us in our astral projection attempt? Samael War, friend, allow me to tell you that invisible beings who can help us do exist. Nonetheless, you can ask for help from one other particular divine mother. I am referring to your own mother of nature. This is very important. I am referring to your own mother of nature because it is obvious that each of us has their own. You must beseech her in the name of Christ so that she can take you out of your body in the precise instant in which you are in the state of transition between vigil and dream. Question, Master, does any special prayer exist in order to call our particular Mother Nature? If there is, can you teach it to us? Samael War, benevolent disciple who is listening to me, I am going to give you advice which can assist anybody in the world. You must lay down on your bed facing upwards with your body very well relaxed and become sleepy while reciting with your thoughts and with your heart the following prayer. So through this prayer that I'm about to read, this is like just really calling out. One thing that people talk about, like with like meditation, with astral projection, with lucid dreaming, is to call out to your guides. I mean, he's literally just saying, there are invisible beings who can help us that do exist. I mean, some people sort of have trouble believing this, but I mean, we're here, we're physical, we're just like one type of experience that consciousness is experiencing itself through. Like in the same way that there's a bunch of like bugs and ants that exist, there's also a bunch of other creatures that exist, but those creatures can have more consciousness than a bug or an ant, So we have our roles here in the physical, and there are other parts of the conscious intelligence which have roles in the non-physical, which are their roles are to help guide us through some of these other states. So a prayer that you can do to call on some of these guides as an example, which is kind of what this is, but you can call upon your guides in whatever way works for you. So, just by opening up and giving yourself permission for them to work with you might be the first simple step. But until you give them permission, they may not fully come in as much as they can. So, I mean, that's something I'm still experimenting with. So the prayer that he suggests is, I believe in God, I believe in my divine mother, and I believe in white magic. Mother of mine, take me out of my body. So then the idea would be to repeat this. I believe in God, I believe in my divine mother, and I believe in white magic. Mother of mine, take me out of my body. So you're setting your intent, you're directing your attention to who you're talking to. In this case, God, the universe, whatever. Divine mother, the mother is like something very specific, and so it says like each of us has our own divine mother. That's like really like that guiding force that's always out there to care for us, that will take us where we need to be. And so just calling upon that, and I'll it's sort of like summoning your higher self sort of thing. And you don't know until you try, right? You must recite this magical prayer with full devotion and with intense faith. Become sleepy if it is necessary. You must pray it a million of times. However, remember that saying which states, strike with thy rod while thou art begging God. Interesting. Thus, when you feel yourself in that state of lassitude in which is proper to sleep, when in your mind the first images of dream state to appear, then please, I beg you, defeat your laziness and feeling yourself like a delicate or subtle phantom. Perform what the pilgrim of our story did in the hall of your guest house, that is, get up out from your bed and leave your home. Understood? So again, this is what I was talking about, like those moments where you think you're really comfortable in bed, just get up. It takes willpower. Get up. And in some cases, like, you won't be getting up with your physical body, you'll be getting up with your astral body. Question, Master, can we ask our particular Mother Nature to take us to a determined place, or does she take us where we must go in accordance with our preparation? This is a very good question. Samael War, the question which you ask is very good. See, he knows. Our Divine Mother knows the place where she can take each of us. Nonetheless, we can also ask her to take us on her to take us to this or that given place. Thus, if she wants to do it, very well. Nevertheless, if she does not want to take us where we want, but instead she transports us to another place, then we must take with gladness her decision, because it is clear that our mother knows what we need, that which is most convenient to us. So that's a thing that you can do. I'm just closing the book now. That's a thing that you can do. You know, if you do get to that state where you're like lucid in a dream, in an astral projection environment, you literally like call out to your guides and you say, like, you know, like, take me to where I need to be. Show me what I need to see. Take me where I need to be. Show me what I need to see. Close your eyes, open your eyes, and you'll be somewhere else potentially. And yeah, and just embrace wherever it is that you are. Again, like, we think that we're making all the decisions from where we are, but there's like another part of ourselves that is doing a lot of the decision making process as well, for us, if we can sort of allow that to take place. And that, you know, think of it as your higher self or whatever, the part of us that knows best for us. So, I mean, in the same way that the higher self can guide us through the physical, the higher self is also guiding us through the astral realms as well. So I'm going to wrap this up. This video is probably like 30 minutes long right now. If you watch this entire thing, awesome, and congratulations. Thank you very much for doing so. And again, please check out the Facebook page for the Team Lucid Dream if you have not already, facebook.com/Team Lucid Dream. A whole bunch of people are posting there. I only post once every 2 weeks. It's the rotation that we got going on. And of course, facebook.com/Journey to Lucidity. Check that out and please share it. And we'll continue to get the word out about that. And I look forward for you to be able to experience that movie for yourself. And other thing would be to listen to Paradigm Shift Radio. So facebook.com/Paradigm Shift Radio. And that's the show that we as a community do every Saturday. So check that out and tune into that, and call in sometime. We'd love to talk to you about your own lucid dream or astral projection experience. So hopefully that provide you guys with some insight and you got something out of that. And good luck with your continued practice. Stay vigilant, stay disciplined, stay humble, and you'll get to where you need to be. So until next time, this is Brendan. Add me on Facebook and we'll talk some more. So peace, everybody. Peace.